Ahoy again, seafarers and sludge warriors! Welcome back to the Cruise Ship Safety and Security channel, where today we're climbing into the bowels of the ship, figuratively and literally, with COSWP, Chapter 20 Tank Cleaning and Gas Freeing. Yes, it's dirty work. Yes, it's dangerous. And yes, it absolutely must be done properly, or you'll be dealing with more than just bad smells. Let's scrub up on safety before someone turns a cleaning job into a full-blown incident. Tanks come in all shapes and sizes: fuel oil tanks, ballast tanks, sewage tanks, cargo tanks, lubricating oil and sludge tanks. Cleaning them is essential for maintenance and inspection, changing cargo or operations, and preventing contamination or corrosion. But here's the risk: toxic or flammable vapors, lack of oxygen, slippery, confined spaces, sludge that can trap or engulf, and physical strain in awkward positions. Let's be clear. Tank cleaning isn't just messy. It's a confined space entry operation on steroids. Before anyone so much as opens a tank hatch, COSWP says, carry out a full risk assessment, obtain a permit to work, and treat all tanks as enclosed spaces. The permit must confirm atmosphere has been tested, rescue plan is in place, ventilation is ready, PPE and equipment are available, and authorized personnel only. If you're asking, do I really need a permit for this little slop tank? The answer is yes, always. The tank must be tested with calibrated equipment for oxygen, 19.5% to 23.5%, flammable gases, below 10% LEL, and toxic gases, especially hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxide, benzene vapors, and test at multiple levels. Remember, heavier gases sink, some rise, some just linger like bad curry. COSWP says, no entry until atmosphere is proven safe, and monitor it continuously. If it smells bad, don't test it with your nose. Test it with your meter. Before cleaning, the tank must be gas-freed. Ventilate using forced or natural air. Position inlets and exhausts to sweep the whole space. Use non-sparking fans. Purge with inert gas where flammable vapors are present. And remember, leave ventilation running the whole time. Don't turn it off because it's getting noisy. Cleaning may involve manual scraping or brushing high-pressure water jets, steam cleaning or chemical cleaning with COSH controls. COSWP warns to watch for slips and falls, avoid high-pressure injection injuries, maintain good lighting, and use intrinsically safe equipment in flammable tanks. Also, keep communications open. This is not the time to go radio silent in a slop tank. COSWP requires full PPE, coveralls, gloves, goggles, helmet, and a gas monitor. A harness with a lifeline and a trained attendant at the tank entrance always. A rescue plan that doesn't involve we'll figure it out, and retrieval gear like a tripod, winch, and breathing apparatus ready. If someone collapses in a tank and you jump in unprotected, you now have 2 casualties. Don't be a hero. Be prepared. COSWP says, tank cleaning and gas freeing must be treated as hazardous operations requiring full safety precautions, trained personnel, and emergency readiness. It's not just another job. It's one of the most dangerous jobs on the ship. Respect it. Let's recap Chapter 20. Tank cleaning is high risk. Treat every job seriously. Do a risk assessment and get your permit to work. Test and monitor the atmosphere. Ventilate and gas-free thoroughly. Wear the correct PPE and never go in alone. Have a rescue plan, team, and gear standing by. Like, subscribe, and send this to the one engineer who still thinks they can clean a sludge tank in flip-flops. Next up, Chapter 21. Security-related safety measures. From restricted zones to anti-piracy protocols, we're stepping up the ship's defenses. Until then, keep your tank clean, your air fresh, and your safety checklist even fresher.